Into this matchup between Chicago Rugby Club versus Morton Mustangs on the state championship. I'm Elijah Hall, and I'm here today with Malachi Martin. Malachi, how are you today?
Well, the sun is shining. The wind is not too bad. The fields are really nice, and we're about to watch some sort of rugby that we've never really seen before. So I don't know. It's going to be exciting.
This is going to be the only women's match of the day, so you guys never broadcast a women's match before, so I guess maybe a different style of play. I guess we'll find out as we go along. For the lineup for the Chicago Valkyries, at number 1 we have Tirado, number 2 Sandoval, number 3 Espinoza, number 4 Gutierrez, number 5 Amidei, number 6 Williams Perez, number 7 Clark, number 8 Silvas. And then for the backs for Chicago Rugby Club, we had number 9 Enriquez, number 10 Cruz, number 11 Ramirez, number 12 Kelton, number 13 Gamma, number 14 Wallace, and number 15 Ramirez. And then in the subs, we have number 16 Velez, number 17 McLaurin, and number 18 Johnson. For the Morton Mustangs, number 1 Mendez, number 2 Amarillo, number 3 Roman, number 4 Sanchez, number 5 Vela, number 6 Perez, number 7 Lopez, and number 8 Aldana. And then for the backs, we have number 9 Escalera, number 10 Perez, number 11 Martinez, number 12 Cruz, number 13 De La Puente, number 14 Andre, and number 15 De Valle. And for the subs, we have number 16 Arana, number 17 Graluera, number 18 Avalos, number 19 Barbera, number 20 Mendez, number 21 Villacerno, and number 22 Salcido, and number 23 Martin. For the sir today is going to be, well, we have Tim Walsh with the line judge, and then not quite certain who the other two are. Tim Walsh is definitely the most famous one out of all of them. He's known for his really picky calls. He has an eye for everything. He sees it all. Hands in the ruck. You don't want to be around messing around whenever you're rucking over, because Tim Walsh will see it.
Yes, he's very well versed in Rugby Illinois law. He knows exactly what all the laws and all the bylaws are. So you definitely got to be careful, and you got to play very, very, very clean rugby. So it's definitely a factor that both these teams are going to have to take into account when they get into this game.
And
all the numbers. If you want to kind of copy that, you can. Or you can just keep both of them.
And here we are getting ready for kickoff on this mighty matchup for the state championship. Ref making sure that both teams have 15 players on the field. And we do have some updates from Morton. Number 5 is going to be Sanchez. Number 4 is going to be Vela. And then in the number 20 jersey, still playing winger at 11, is Martinez. And the number 22 jersey is De La Puente. And then in the number 11 jersey is Andre. And here's the kickoff. And the match has begun. Quick run-in from Chicago. A nice run so far from William Perez. Now that's to the forward crashing. Nice low hit. And slowly gaining some meters here. Enriquez passes it out, and now that's to the backs. 12 crash and an offload. Gamma runs into some traffic. And another forward crash. Nice hit from Tirado. Looks like Chicago's slowly gaining some meters here. Still working their way to get past the 50. But Morton's doing a really good job of holding him back.
Yeah, it looks like Morton's using the passive tackle technique where you hold on and then just pull them down. They do gain, a meter or two but they do stop them, and they're doing a pretty good job of that.
Really good low tackling, too, from Morton. Not allowing any penetrations in the gaps. And now they're swinging it back out to the other side. Intercepted by fly half Perez, and Morton will take the ball. Some aggressive counter-rucking from Chicago Rugby. And some aggressive defense as well. Out to the back line. Kind of standing still, but they're going to get it back out, and they'll break the 50. Another forward crash. Good run, slowly gaining meters, taking advantage of the passive tackling. Out to the forward pods again. The wing is wide open. If they can pass it out.
Some strong counter-rucking, but they couldn't quite get it.
We get out to the wing. And some more good rucking. Ball's back out. Here's the crash from Sanchez. And again, slowly gaining meters. It looks like this is an inch-by-inch game so far. Both defenses are doing really well. The offenses of both teams are looking to have to find some holes to get. They have to find a gap in the defense. But right now, CRC is not showing it. But looks like it'll be an advantage for the high tackle given to Morton. And they'll go right on back to it.
All right, let's see if they
decide
off
to go
for the kick for touch. Looks like the scrum half is taking. Nope. Give it to the 6.
Perez kicking the touch. Nice and high. Doesn't go out. But there will be the knockout advantage, and it'll be a scrum to Morton at around the 45-meter line. Now we've just been seeing really good defense from both teams, not really getting anywhere, stuck around the 45 and the 45 on both sides, and then between that area. The offense has been kind of slow, but they are getting some meters, and they'll get pushed back, and they'll gain some, and they get pushed back. It's just really good no holes in the line. I think one of the trippy parts about this field is that the football lines can be kind of.
Yeah, there are 3 different sports of paint on the field. There's lacrosse and football, and then you have rugby on top of that. It's a little bit confusing.
The rugby line is really far out because rugby fields are really big. And so usually they're not spreading as far as they could. But, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, I guess. Most of it will be a re-scrum. This time to CRC.
And just in case there's any confusion about it, it is the light orange paint, so it's kind of hard to see next to the more bold yellow, but the orange paint is the rugby lines.
I'd say more dark orange. But yeah, either way. And looks like it'll be a re-scrum. Crouch, bind, and set. Nice scrum from both teams. Good push. And they're out. Forward crash. Nice hit from Sandoval. She's still going. A nice drive. And they'll break the 45-meter curse. Another forward crash. Oh, they faked the forward crash. Now they have to back out. Kelton ran into some trouble. Good tackle from Cruz. And another low tackle. Ramirez runs into some more traffic. Pop pass. And a run from Silva, so it looks like she'll get high tackled, and the advantage will be there. It's the ball up, Kelton. Back up again. Some more strong tackling. A good tackle from Sanchez. And a really nice hit there from Tirado, who get the offload, gets it to Silvas before she gets taken down. Slowly game meters, they broke the 40. Another crash, and now they're on the 22. It looks like the ball's poached by Vela. Oh, and it looks like there'll be a knock-on advantage. And there'll be a scrum for Valkyries. Right on the 22-meter line.
It looked like the CRC rugby team was just about getting ready to, really start turning things on and, start moving. We did see some movement there. They were doing a better job of passing it to the forwards and breaking through the line. But, yeah, knock-ons are the bane of any rugby player's existence. It's almost like they just pop out of nowhere.
Pop forward out of nowhere, more like. Here's the scrum. Nice and strong from both teams. And it's out to the backs. And knock-on advantage given to Morton. And, yep, another scrum. Now, CRC is going to have to really take advantage of the offense that they get, the time they have on offense. Because right now, if they keep this up, it's going to be kind of hard to keep it going. Because they're trying to gain meters right now. They're doing a pretty good job of holding Morton inside their own half. But at some point, they're going to have to try and get closer up.
Anyways, there's a crouch, a bind, and finally a set.
And CRC will win it. They'll steal it. And it's still running. Ducks under a tackle and pulled down by her jersey. A good run from Enriquez. And a penalty awarded for offsides. Here's the quick tap. Silvas inching her way closer. Also going to do some forward crashing. Here's the offload. And that'll be the try. Amazing run in. Some good rugby right there. The stealing the scrum was the first thing that got it going.
Yeah, both teams are definitely doing a great job using their forward pods and using their forwards to just crash it in. And like you said earlier, the defense is really great on both sides. So really, the only way to defeat them is just run it in and push them back just a little bit, because both sides are definitely doing the passive tackles right now. They're really not getting the active tackles to gain meters on defense. So they took advantage of that, and then like you said, that stolen scrum is definitely where this try came from. With two phases later, they ran it in.
Kick is no good, and took out a couple Morton players underneath the posts. But yep, they'll start off a score 5-0. A really good try there from Sandoval. And it'll be CRC 5, Morton 0. And Morton's going to have a chance to get inside their own half this time, inside Chicago's half. Because it's really about a territory game in rugby. You want to be offense or defense. You want to be inside the other team's half. You want to try to keep them in their own half. That's the idea. Here's the kick, a nice drop kick. And it's a high bounce. It's still rolling. Good pickup. And she's still running. Almost looked like there was an obstruction, kind of, but the sir will not call it. And Morton throwing a good display of defense yet again. So Doval's taken down. Enriquez out to another crash. Silvas gets pulled down. Now they have to try to find a way to get out. It looks like they're doing some forward crashes and some pop passes.
Looks like right there they tried to do the to draw the defenders in and then offload it, and it looks like it kind of worked, but fortunately there was the not releasing call.
Here's the quick tap. Nice run from Tirado. She takes it into contact. Now to back out again. Now Morton is inside. They get out to the winger. Here's the run. And just score the try. Barrera will put it in for 5 points, tying the score.
Yeah, that try definitely just came from when you're running into contact. You let the two defenders that are on either side of you try to get your tackle, and then at the last second when they've already committed to you, you just pass it off. You offload it, and then the next guy can run and you create a gap. And they did that 3 times, and they just ran it in. That was a great play. That was great reading of the field, and then seeing that the defenders are going to run in for it.
That's going to make a nice, easy kick here for the blindside flanker Perez. Right down the center. Kind of unfortunate penalty there for CRC. They had, oh, the kick's good. Oh, man, beautiful form. But it will go over the, yeah, those net things in the back really don't do anything. In any case, amazing kick there. That'll put them in the lead 7-5. But yeah, CRC just they had to get back 10 and they didn't spread fast enough. So when they got it out to the wing, there was no one there to stop her. Ended up an amazing run.
All right, well, it looks like this game is going to go a little bit for tit for tat. You know, you put in a try, I put in a try. Looks like it's very back and forth. So, although both teams definitely, yeah, like was said before, they definitely like the forward pods, the forward crashes. So, but like we just saw, that it's really the back lines that are scoring for both teams. The passing it out is really where it's going to be. The tries are going to be hidden.
Indeed, because the spreading, both teams are using the strategy of the forward crashing and drawing the defense towards the ruck, and that leaves the back on the outside open if all the defense is ruck oriented. And so that's what both teams are taking advantage of here. And we'll see how Morton can get out their own half and see if they can pull the same play as they did last time. Getting ready for the kickoff. So there's a bit of a team chat.
It looks like one of the players had a bit of a lower body injury. So looks like she's making it off the field though.
And sub coming in, number 20 for Chicago Rugby Club. And here's the catch from Lopez. She'll take it in the contact. A good run, getting quite a few meters there for Morton. Here's the pass out. They get out to the back line. A nice throw pass. And Sanchez will be taken down, but not without gaining a couple meters. Here's the pass out. Good tackle from Kelton. Back out to the back lines. And here's the kick. I was just thinking when I'd see a kick. Here's the chase. Knocks it on. And advantage is given to Morton. Good strategic play there. And about a meter gain there from Sanchez. To the back line again. De La Puente passes the ball out. Mendez takes it in, but it'll end up in the hands of Roman. And now they're out to the back line again. That one-hand swing pass seems to be working. And they get out to the winger. Still inside. Good run from Barrera. Hooker takes it in. How about back to the forward crash, and still with advantage. Oh, kind of a miscommunicated pass there, and they'll go back to the advantage for the high tackle. And looks like they're going to go for the kick to touch. Look for a line out. Here's the kick, and it'll find touch. Line out just in front of the 22-meter line. Now we get to see some for the first line out of the day.
Yeah, it looks like once that first kick went, they figured out that they could make some meters off of that. They kind of started liking the kicking. Although their kicking form is pretty good. You know, they're getting it nice and deep before it goes out. So it looks like an uncontested line out, and they set up a maul, and they get it out.
Now they get out to the back line, and it looks like the forward crash, and it's stolen by Kelton. Looks like there will be an advantage for offsides. And it looks like they're going to get it to the kicker again. They like the line out. Oh, but doesn't find touch this time. But it's a nice deep kick. And she'll be tackled into touch by Perez. So it'll be a line out again for Morton. Now Perez couldn't quite get the kick into touch, but she made up for it by getting the tackle into touch, which will work out too. All part of the plan, I bet. Slowly backing up, switching to the side, long pass out, and the sir will call a scrum for not straight. We've been seeing pretty good scrums here for Morton and CRC. Both doing a really good job with their pushes.
Yeah, they're definitely very solid, and I think they're evenly matched too. You know, there hasn't been too much rotation in the scrum, which is good to see. All right, they crouch tape on the set, and of course, as soon as I say that, there's a little bit of rotation, but they get it out, and there's a good run. She breaks through one tackle, but it's finally brought down by two more.
Good run from Silvas. And that's to the backs again. Here's Kelton. She's still going. Stiffs arms another. Oh, nice tackle there, but she'll gain quite a few meters. Ball back out. Amidei will take it into contact. Enriquez. Out to the forward crash. Out to the backs this time. Oh, to pass just in front. But it'll get picked up. Here's a nice run. Breaks the tackle. Breaks another tackle. Really good run from Clark, and she's still going, but she couldn't quite get anywhere with Mendez holding onto her ankle. Some more good running here from Tirado.
Looks like the support is doing a great job of, you know, really helping the ball carrier get through the defensive line, so they're definitely making meters off of that.
Sandoval into contact. Back out. Here's Kelton. making quite a few meters here today. Good part of the running. And looks like Wallace will run into some contact, some problems out in the wing. Good spreading there from Morton. The ball's back out. Now Chicago's really doing a pretty good job gaining meters slowly but surely. They'll do a couple forward crashes and pass it out to the backs and do a couple forward crashes. That's what they really are gaining the meters here. A really nice hit from Tirado. But the penalty for the elbow push. Honestly, never seen that penalty before, but.
Yeah, the law is you can't do a full extension of your arm for the when you're pushing away a tackling player. But yeah, usually people are better about that. But you know, if we're going to be more precise about the law, then I guess I guess there was maybe one. Kind of hard to see, but I'm sure the ref saw it. As they get it out. Yeah, it looks like now both teams are doing a better job of using the forwards and backs. You know, keeping the defense a little bit off balance. You know, trying to move it across the field. They're doing a great job. They're definitely doing a better job of breaking through the defense.
And a knock-on penalty. Well, a knock-on advantage given to Valkyries. Here's a really good run from number 20. Tirado will pass it out to Sandoval. Now the Valkyries got the ball back. Did some good fakes. Oh no, the ball bounces out. Morton will steal it and get the knock-on advantage. Here's the run out. They get out to the winger. Here she goes again. Same as before. Herrera. She gets taken down in a nice low ruck. Really good low ruck. The ball will bounce a bit. It'll get picked up by Roman. She'll take it down. Here's the pick and go from Sanchez. Gets to the 22 and good support. Back out again. Perez. Takes it in quite far. Penalty for offsides. Looks like there's a lot of offsides penalties here. CRC really needs to figure it out.
It looks like they're just maybe a little bit too aggressive with, you know, jumping the gun and crossing that line before the ball actually has been passed out.
And it looks like they're going to go for the quick tap. Here it is. Oh, they do the dummy switch pass, and they get it out to Jaramillo. Ball back out. Another forward crash. Here's Aldana. Battling for the 22 now. Both teams. They get out to the outside to the wing.
There'll be a high tackle there. That was pretty. Yep.
And it'll be another penalty. Looks like Cyril will talk to the sideline judge to see exactly what's going on. So they'll be called over. And the sir's going to write things down. And when the sir's writing things down, you only know what that means.
Yeah, it was a pretty rough high tackle there. So I wouldn't be surprised if a yellow card was pulled out. But looks like the wallet is going back away. Oh, no, there's the yellow card. Yep, the rules are definitely very strict in this game. You've got to tackle in a certain way, or otherwise you're going to be penalized very, very harshly.
Now she makes her way to the sin bin, and they got to play down a player for 8 minutes, I believe.
Yep.
Now that's that's a bit of a bummer there for CRC. She was out in the wing, so, and Morton likes to throw it out to the wing a lot. So with one less person out there it's going to be kind of difficult to match up correctly.
Yeah, every single person on that defensive line matters, especially when you're putting, 2 or 3 people onto a tackle like they've been doing.
Nice run from Jaramillo. And the back out. Here's the back play again that we've all been seeing before. Long pass out.
It's a good tackle down. Looks like some counter-rucking and brutal rucking, and they get it out.
Run from Mendez. And a good tackle pushing Morton back. Here's the fake pop pass. Looks like they'll be called for instruction. Sanchez was just a bit. Ran behind instead of in front. Here's the crash. Nice hit from Tirado. And the offload to Silvas. Breaking the 50-meter line. Morton showing a good defensive display, but the passive tackles are going to take a toll slowly. And more aggressive defense here. They push it back. And so we'll call timeoff. Trainer will go onto the field. But yeah, there was a good play there from Morton. Had the passive tackle before. Then getting it on back. Pushing forward again.
It looks like CRC throughout the game has been doing their style is more, slowly work up, and then get faster and faster, and then, for their try, they had to kind of work up to it, get speed, pass it out, and then run it in. Whereas Morton likes to do crash and kind of play slower, and then out of the blue, get it out to the back line, and then have that one random really fast play that they score off of.
So they both have pretty close to the same style of play, except, yes, as you were saying, CRC does more crashing. Now, I would say it is pretty good weather here for rugby. I mean, the wind's barely on, and it's partly cloudy, but the sun's still kind of peeking through.
Yeah, the weather's definitely perfect. Although, there's a nice ambiance of car noise in the background. It's not exactly a highway, but there are a couple cars. Although, this sports complex is super nice. They have the AstroTurf fields. It's super soft to lay on. Definitely nicer to be tackled onto that than onto, some of the fields that we've had to broadcast for. There's some places where it's almost just hardened dirt and it looks miserable to play on. But this is definitely a nice place. There's several nice fields, and there's softball, I believe, going on behind us.
Baseball.
Couldn't quite tell.
The manly version. Baseball is the America's pastime, as they call it. Amazing sport. And she's going to walk out the field on her own weight, though she is holding her arm. And the back to the scrum to restart the play. Nice and strong, and here's the pick. How to get a sub in. And time off again. And the injury's coming out of her own weight, so that's a good sign.
It looks like she's smiling and laughing, so probably wasn't too very bad. Anyways, we got another scrum going. Got a bit of a cheer going from the team. Good sportsmanship from both sides. And there we go. That's a pretty rough-looking scrum. Looks like a lot of power in that.
But here's the run from Wallace, and she'll take it into contact. Quick running. And a knock-on from Espinoza. A bit of a problemo there. Now that's when you're in a position like this, when you're basically knocking on the door of your own 50, you have to be able to catch the ball and hang on to it. I mean, nerves are a thing, especially the state championship, but it's kind of, just gotta relax and catch the ball.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have, there have been points where like it looks like they're getting into the zone where you really don't even like think about, you're not in the state championship, you're just playing rugby, and you're passing and you're going. Like right now, that was a great pass and a great, going into contact. Another good pass, a little bit high, so it's recovered. Yep, knock on.
And there's gonna be a scrum on the opposite side of the field. Now these lines are messing with me too. Someone tells me that they're like right on the sideline, but actually the sideline's like 50 feet away. Here's the crouch bind set. Vegas passes it out. A nice little run here from Cruz. And she'll pass it out to Kelton, who gets tackled down. Good tackle there, the number 11, Andre. Good run from Amidei. Back out to the forward crash. Toronto will offload it. And here's the run from Espinoza. Sandoval. The offload to Kelton. Will find the gap and gain quite a few meters there. Pass back out to Sandoval. Enriquez with the pop pass, bouncing around a bit. But Tirado will pick it back up and knock on. Right next to the 5-meter line. And here's yet another scrum. In the number 18 jersey, subbing in at 9 is Alpazar. She'll take it out. And here's the pass, and here's the kick. Nice high kick. Getting them the time. Here's the lucky bounce. But it just be stolen. Pretty clutch steal there from Ramirez. Enriquez has Sandoval. Still running, still powering her way through. Enriquez passes it up. Tirado gets it to Kelton, who hops over a couple for falling down. Out to the backs again. Get to Clark, who will offload it again. Slowly getting meters, walking their way down the field. But the poach from Morton will end the rain. Here's the quick tap from Aldana. She's still going. Ball's back out. Here's the pass out. Nice run out to the winger. Here's Barrera. Pass out to Perez, and she'll get taken down. Here's the pickup from Alpazar, and here's the nice run again from the prop, Vela. Sorry, that's a lock, not a prop. Alpazar with the fake pass from Sanchez, and she'll take it in, getting quite a few meters. And they're out to the back line again. Perez kind of gets driven back there. And here's another quick run and a good tackle. But De Valle will take it in farther. Slowly getting farther into the territory of the Valkyries. Aldana. Here's the offload again. Sanchez. And they're out to the backs again. Oh, kind of a bad pass there, but a good pick up there from Mendez. Coach calls for a pick and go, but they'll swing it out instead. Perez. Not rolling out. Penalty awarded to Morton. Here's the quick tap. And a good run from Perez. And gains quite a few meters there. Knocking on the door of the 5, inside the 22. De La Puente, though, will not have the same luck. Here's some good offloads. Albazar will get it out to the back line again. Gets a Barrera. And she'll offload it again. Still inbounds. Albazar gets it out to the backs, who will offload it. So Donna. Shifting sides of the field, a good strategy, moving the defense back and forth. As Vela will make a good run. And they'll get the penalty advantage. They keep playing until it stops. Oh, dropped ball, but picked up again. And they're going back to the penalty all the way back on the other side of the field. And the yellow card goes back in. And here's the advantage. And it looks like Perez is going to go for the kick to touch. And she'll find it. It's going to be a Morton line out. Right in front, right inside the 22. See if they can capitalize on the situation. Here's the throw in, and they'll win it. And a good tackle from Clark, but she'll rip the ball away. But it looks like there'll be the knock-on advantage, and it'll be a scrum for Morton. Kind of tipped it forward by CRC in the line out. Here's the scratch behind set. Albazar puts it in. She pulls it out the back and a good pass. And they're slowly moving their way down the back line. Here's the fake switch. Oh, amazing hit by number 20. Nice little run. Gaining quite a few meters. And they go on right. The pop pass out. They get it to Aldana. And she puts it down for the try. Adding to the lead. Right on the sideline. An amazing run there. An amazing play. Whipping it out to the right from Morton. But it's going to be quite a hard kick here for Perez. But still amazing rugby right there from the Morton Mustangs.
Yeah, that was good. Reading the field, seeing that the defenders were lacking over on the right wing, and then getting it out and then punching it in.
Now put the score up, 12-5 in favor of Morton. The Valkyries scored first, which usually is a very important factor in a rugby match. But it looks like Morton will do the continued scoring. The kick is barely off, no good, and that'll be the half. So pretty good first half here from both teams. We've been seeing a couple injuries, but none too bad, it seems. And both teams have been doing pretty well on defense. And the offense has definitely grown throughout the game. At first it started off kind of rough. Both teams just stuck right around the 50-meter line, and they just couldn't get past it. And then once the kicking started going, then that's when things started getting better. But, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely started off a little bit slower, but they've definitely fallen into their rhythm. Crashing, then pass out to the back. Some field IQ out there, so they're definitely doing a good job. Getting it back and forth and thinking about what they're doing. So it'll definitely be an interesting second half. So anyways, until then, we'll see you in a couple minutes.
Set, go. All right, welcome in everybody here today with Coach Cass from the Morton Stallions, playing in a state championship game, obviously a big game. What's the big thing you're focusing on today?
Sorry, Morton Mustangs.
Oh, my bad.
No worries, no worries. One big thing that we're focusing on is just being very disciplined. I think a lot of the times we tend to, look at a state championship and the nerves are definitely there. So the girls are obviously, just trying to worry about how to perfect the fundamentals.
Okay.
And I think discipline is going to be a big toll for us today.
All right, how did you prepare for this game this week?
Oh man, well, definitely a lot of cardio, knowing that we're not going to have unlimited subs like we usually do during the regular season. So we have to stay committed to the girls that are going to be on the field and hoping that they just can run through it. We did design specific drills so that they're able to maybe hone in more on what CRC does, but mostly just to play our game.
And speaking of CRC, any thoughts on them? Did you game plan for them any differently than you would a normal team or something?
Oh, definitely. Every single team that we face, we always have to game plan very differently. I think CRC is one of at the top and has been at the top for years. So they're definitely a team that we have to prepare for, and if not, we're going to get our butts kicked.
All right.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this matchup between the Morton Mustangs and the Chicago Valkyries in the state championship. I'm Elijah Hall, and I'm back with Malachi Martin. Malachi, what do you think of this? What do you think is going to go on in the second half?
Well, I definitely think that they found their groove, like we said before. So I think it'll be interesting. You know, wow, starting off with a massive run, but yeah, I think it'll definitely be more interesting. They definitely found their groove and their passing ability, and you know, they figured out how to use their wings. So I think it'll definitely be just as exciting, or maybe even a lot more exciting than the first half.
Well, here's a line break right off the bat from tongue twister. Jaramillo, especially since I'm not Spanish. And then they get out to the wing. A nice one from Berrada. And she'll get tackled into touch. Good defense there from Chicago Rugby Club. But it is quite a few meters gained, so. If the Valkyries, oh, sorry, Malcolm, go ahead.
No, that's fine. It just looked like Tim Walsh, the touch judge, was going to give the line out to one team, and then turns out that the other team is going to get the line out. So it's just a little bit kind of interesting, kind of funny. Although, yeah, the lineouts have been usually uncontested. So only one team jumps. Oh, that one was definitely contested, but they definitely, that was a.
Straight. I was about to say, wow, that was pretty clean. But so far, one good line out and two not straight. So free scrum to Morton. I mean, at this rate, doesn't really matter if they got tackled out of bounds because they're back where they started. But Chicago did steal one of their scrums earlier in the game, so there's always that possibility. Here's the scrums put in. A really good push from Chicago. But they'll come out with it. They get out to the back line. Here's the pass out. And into contact they go. Now they're at the 40. It looks like there's a poach. And the Valkyries will get the ball back. Now this is really what they needed. Now they need to find a way to get it out of their half. Amidei takes it down slowly but surely. Enriquez. They get out to the pod. Sandoval. Gain a few meters. And a good placement and good low rucking. Out to the back line again, swinging it down. Ball's dropped though. Slowly moving back, here's Clark. Still trudging along. Looking for the offload, not there. She'll decide to go down with it. Here's the pop basket to the winger. She'll cut back inside. We're finally getting taken down. Looks like they go the other way. Now Morton has been doing it pretty. Oh, here's the line break. Really good run from Sandoval. She breaks some more tackles. Here's another tackle broken and finally gets taken down, but an amazing run. Kelton holding on for dear life as there's an aggressive counter, but she'll keep it on. And Amidei will take it into contact. Now they're knocking on the door of the 50-meter. Really showing what patience means. Silvas takes into contact where the ball gets stolen. No, looks like diving in the ruck. And that'll be plus 10 for a free 10 meters there. And Silvas will quick tap it. Take it past the 50, past the 40, gets it at 35. Good decision for the quick tap. Here's Sandoval. Morton really needs to start getting lower with their tackles. Their offense has been looking good, but their defense really needs to start hanging on. Here's the pass out. Quick bat. Here's Tirado. Still going. Passes back out. Here's Kelton. She'll find a gap. The offload. Get some more offloading going. And looks like kind of held up. Morton trying to steal the ball. Looks like it's more of a, it should finally go down. Out to Kelton again. Oh, looks like the ball was lost a bit. Advantage though. Offsides. Silvas will quick tap it. She'll run inside. Silvas still going. And she'll put it down for the try. Chicago Rugby Club gets +5. Right in the middle. Giving a good position for a kick. Trying to tie up the score. But right now it's 12-10. And Silvas will be kicking for her own try.
Yeah, CRC was definitely doing a good job finding those gaps and running through them. At the beginning, the first half, the defense was really, really good, really solid. Now it's looking like they're a little bit more spread out. Maybe both teams are trying to utilize more of the field, but because you're doing that on offense, you just kind of subconsciously do it on defense. And I think the offense is definitely doing a better job of cutting through and making that.
The kick was no good. So it will be 12-10. Now this game is really looking like it's going to come down to kicks. Who's going to make the most conversions? Because right now, Morton's up. In that case, there's going to be a sub here. Outside center De La Puente is out. And coming in is number 13, Mendez. Here's a drop kick. Beautiful form. And here's Kelton. She'll run it in, break a couple tackles before finally getting slowly dragged down by Perez. Good quick run there to start off this kickoff. Day will take it in. Now they're out to the backs again. Good run from Gutierrez. Out to the Silvas again. Good quick ruck over. Now, the Valkyries have been doing an amazing job getting really low with their rucks, not allowing the Mustangs to get the poach. Sorry, lost train of thought there. But yeah, the low rucks, the coach has been doing a pretty good job drilling that into their heads. And it looks like it's really working out for them. But there will be a knock on here and a scrum to Morton.
Yeah, off of that, the rucking and the supporting, the Valkyries are definitely doing a great job with really, really quick support after a tackle. They're doing a great job getting on top of the ruck and making sure that the counter ruck isn't going to steal anything.
Scrum gets called up. Looks like the sir's going to ask a few questions to the front rows, and they're going to go back in. Getting ready to go. Alpazar puts it in. And looks like they'll go for the 8-man pig, but Alpazar will end up back with it again. And here she goes before finally getting tackled down by Amidei. Out to the winger. Here's Berrara. Getting close to the sideline. A good ruck over. Now they're back out. Back out again. And they're going to pass it to the back line. Perez will take it into contact. Alpazar will get it off. Oh, kind of a knock pass from Sanchez. But there will be go back to the penalty for the high tackle. And looks like Perez is going to go for the quick tap instead. Support lagging behind a bit, but due to the slow contact, but nice team tackle by Kelton and Tirado. Alpazar with the pop pass to Sanchez, who gets it back out. Oh, Jaramillo was just on a break, but it looks like they'll be called back for a penalty. They'll just give it. Valkyrie's going back 10. They got a quick tap right there. Quick tap. And here's Sanchez. They'll offload it. Getting it all the way down the back line. Here's Berrada. Stolen. Here's the pickoff from Gutierrez. And Valkyries will regain possession of the ball. Here's a strong counter up. Not quite low enough. Here's the push. And they'll go back to the knock-on. Ball's in, a really good placement there from Enriquez, and she'll get it out. Good quick run there. And down she goes. Pretty good pass there from Espinoza. He got to the back line. Here's Clark. The offload was a bit forward, and the Sir will call the forward pass scrum to Morton.
Yeah, it looks like after those couple breakthrough runs and then the breakthrough try just a couple minutes ago, I think the defense is definitely becoming definitely hardening back up. You know, really making it a tough unit, going up at the same time, forcing back, and forcing these knock-ons.
And the Sir will call the scrum back up. Looks like a bit of an excess saliva production there. And back at the scrum. And the Sir will call back up again.
All right, lots of instruction on this scrum. Looks like they crouch again.
And they'll put it in. Ball's back out. Kind of kicked around, but picked up by, wow. Gutierrez really got out of that scrum pretty quick for being a lock. Here's the ball out. Silvas to Kelton, who will run it into contact. Here's Berrada. Oh, sorry, not Berrada. Wallace. Back out again. Good quick run from Sandoval. And she's still going. Taking it down right in front of the 22-meter line. Out to the back. She's Kelton to Clark. Runs onto it pretty hard. Still going. Still going. Making her way down the sideline. Breaking tackles like it's back, like it's going out of style. Ball's back out. Good run from Tirado. Still up. She'll get the offload. Ball slowly, it's moving its way down the line. A good pass off to Silvas. Off to Sandoval. To Gutierrez. She'll get tackled down right at the 5-meter line. Enriquez goes to Silvas. She'll run it in. Now they're knocking on the doorstep. Gutierrez runs it in. Looking for the forward crash. Penalty advantage. And the try. The Valkyries will take the lead. An amazing run from Silvas yet again. Really proving her point that she's here to play some rugby. And that'll put them up 15-12.
Yeah, once again, it's really just those running and then finding the gaps and running through that's really paying off for the Chicago Rugby Club. You know, they've really finally figured out, you know, see that gap, take it, and then, you know, even if you do have defenders on you, then take the defenders, then pass it off, and, you know, let somebody else take that gap that you've created. So I think they're really finally clicking, and you know, it's really kind of awesome to like see how they're using that. You know, they've had much better space on the field now. They're using the full field and you know, getting closer to the touch instead of, you know, kind of being fooled by the extra paint on the ground.
Kick is no good. So I'll put the score 15-12, so that's down by 3. So it looks like Morton will be down, but a try will put him in the lead. Now this is the kind of game that you're looking for in a state championship. Really close, 2 good teams going at it. Now Morton hasn't scored yet this half, so they definitely have the potential to get some points on the board. But the Valkyries have really been dominating this second half so far. Perez getting ready to kick off. Her kicking today has actually been pretty good. Here's the drop kick, received by Kelton. And she'll immediately take it into contact. A nice low tackle there from Jaramillo. Pass back out Sandoval. We'll pass it out to Amidei. Another offload. Sandoval will end up with it again. Ball's back out kind of high. And Enriquez will pass it back out. And here's the forward crash again. Tirado will take it in, slowly gaining meters for the Valkyries. Out the backs. Nice low run from Wallace, but slowly losing meters now. Morton's defense has been doing pretty good, absolutely smothering the onslaught. Here's Clark down the sideline. A good team effort there for Morton to take her down. Morton slowly losing ground here on the defensive side. Counter ruck, no good, and the defender was not rolling away. Penalty awarded to the Valkyries. Here's the quick tap. Silvas will take it in, cut back inside. Also kind of kicked the ball forward as he went in for the poach, so it was no good. Out to the backs, out to the forwards. Nice low tackle. I got to Wallace. Wow, she puts on, shows us some speed, but it's picked up. Now it's a bit offsides there. But it looks like they'll go back to the penalty advantage for the offsides yet again. We've been seeing offsides quite a bit this game.
Yeah, I think both sides' defenses just get a little bit excited, and they kind of just jump the gun a little bit early.
It's Gutierrez. Nice low run. Now they get out to Sandoval. Nice hit there for finally getting taken down. Albazar couldn't quite get her hands on the ball. Passes back out. Kind of bounces around. And a knock on. Looks like Tirado was trying to get Alanda off the ruck. Kind of aggressively. And it looks like Roman will come out. And a new sub will go in. Here's a nice push. Oh, kind of collapsed. So he's going to call that back up. And looks like they're going to reset the scrum. I will have to say, now that the starting 9, Escalera, for Morton has come out, and Allison Alpazar has come in. She's been doing a pretty good job, even though she does seem to be the smallest on the field. But she's been making tackles and doing a pretty good job, so good. That's good to see from a sub when you come in. And looks like forced to ground. Penalty awarded to Valkyries. Here's a quick tackle from Silvas. She's known to be doing that. Good tackle. But now it's going to be knocking on the door of the 22-meter line. Here's Tirado. Pass out to Espinoza. And they're out to the backs again. Here's Kelton. Gets the pass to Wallace. Pass out to number 20. And she's going down the line. Puts out a stiff arm before getting tripped up. Ball's back out again. A nice catch from Tirado. She'll pass out to Silvas. To Scandoval. And here's Clark. She's running it in. And she's going to get tackled down right at the 5-meter line. Sandoval will pick it back up. And she'll run inside. Slowly gaining in. Here's the placement. Now there's a drum roll as the plays going. Here's Clark. Runs in kind of high.
It's a good active tackle, though, but...
And she'll get it. Clark will score the try, putting the Valkyries ahead 20-12.
Yeah, most of the tackles during this game have been passive tackles, so you wrap up the ball carrier and then you fall backwards and they gain a couple meters. But, you know, the one time where active tackles, where you force the ball carrier backwards on the tackle, is definitely goal line defense. And it looks like they almost had it there. They were kind of forcing it back, but just not quite fast enough, not quite strong enough, and was able to go down.
Yeah, it's a really good run there and some good forward movement. I mean, this is going to be kind of a difficult kick for Sandoval to put in. But, yeah, amazing there. And now with that try, even if they're not making kicks, Valkyries are still up a try and a kick now. And Morton's going to have to score trying to kick to tie it up. So kind of a deep position here for Morton.
Yeah, CRC is definitely taking control of this game. They're definitely controlling the tempo and most of the passing.
And Ramirez is going to come out. And then goes number 16, Velez, coming in at wing. And Morton slowly making their way up. But the time is still on, so right now they're just burning the clock. Both teams looking like they're kind of tired, but this is when the real champions are made.
Sir, was the kick good? No. CRC hasn't made a kick all day.
And it looks like Sir's going to come back onto the field. Oh, looks like she had time off the whole time, so I guess it was okay. And Perez going back for the drop kick. The classic form. Right to Kelton, but she'll knock it on. Now that is exactly what Morton needs right now. They need a knock on right on the 22. That gives them field position. Now if they can get something going.
Although, yeah, it is kind of in the middle of the field, so the defense is going to be decently, you know, able to move off of the scrum and then, you know, try to stop any runs that Morton might try to get off. But if Morton can crash and then pull defenders over and then use their back line and run it in, they definitely have a pretty good chance right now.
Morton will pull it out. Here's Aldana Shield making a nice run, gaining quite a few meters. And now here's the quick tap. Quick go, good quick rucking there. Ball's out. Albatraz gets it to Madison. Sorry, Mendez. Now they're out. Jaramillo. And here's the penalty awarded. Not releasing the tackled player. And looks like they'll be called back. Time off. And trainer.
It looks like Morton is finally kind of picking it up. Although, yeah, that scrum was perfectly timed and perfectly placed for Morton to really, use something with it. And they were doing a great job of, they crashing forward, pulling a lot of the defense in, and then it looked like they were kind of trying to start passing the ball out their back line.
And it looks like subs coming in for the Chicago Rugby Club. Number 18, Johnson. And out comes their 15, Ramirez. And it's going to be goal line defense now, basically, for now it's going to be goal line defense here for the Valkyries. And Morton's going to have quite the field advantage right now, but they are down to trying to kick, so they're going to have to get a good field position. Their kicking has been pretty good this game. And in comes number 3, Monica Roman coming back in for number 1, Marissa Mendez. And looks like Alpazar, here's the quick tap. And get out to the forward crash. Saltito. And now they're back out. Here's Alpazar. Kind of a bounce pass there. Get off to forward pod. Slowly making their way down the field. Here's Aldana. Kind of a bounce pass, but it's picked up before it can be knocked on. Aggressive counter rucking. The Valkyries will come back out with it. Good steal from Espinoza. And they're back out. Here's Sandoval. Hopping around, breaking a couple tackles before finally getting pushed back. They're out to the backs. Kelton. It's to Wallace. Pretty good run there. Was right on the 22. The Mustangs putting on a good defensive display again. Tackle broken. Now they're getting some meters, knocking on the door of the 40. Here's Gutierrez. Still going. Breaking the 40. And the Valkyries are showing their offensive prowess right now. Here's the pass off to Silvas. Right for getting taken down. Slowly getting meters offsides. Now that was as offsides as it gets. But it looks like she'll call a knock-on instead.
Guess the knock-on might have come before.
As the smell of sunscreen flies into the air.
CRC keeps control of the ball and they pass it out.
And here's a nice little run here for the number 10, Cruz, and she's still going. Perez is on her case. Finally getting taken down right at the end. Now this is going to have to be some goal line defense. The best defense they've played all season, all year, if they want to be able to stop this. Here's Silvas. Good tackle from Andre. Here's Sandoval. And here's Tirado. Now they're knocking on the door, so even closer. Silvas again pulls it out. Now they're right there. And the try to seal the deal. Amazing offense there from the Valkyries, getting that scrum, really utilizing the holes. Putting the score 20 to 12. Now Morton was really showing some promise in the first half, scoring twice. The Valkyries won. But right now, in the second half, it is Valkyries' ball. Kick is no good.
It goes over the fence again. Yeah, the Valkyries have definitely stepped it way up, and they're bringing their game now. They're really playing rugby now. They're doing a great job of using the forwards when they need to, which is a lot of the time the opposing team's defense is pretty good, so using the forwards is smart. But then they're also really good at getting it out to the backs and passing it out, and then like you said, finding those holes and then really pushing in there. And then, at the goal line defense, they were doing a great job of just crashing again and again until they see the hole and then, taking it and then placing it down.
Yeah, it was a really good try from Johnson. And a beautiful grubber from our assistant referee. Now Perez is really going to have to place this kick well. Down by two tries. Looks like the defense switches. Defense shifts. And the kick's up. They'll give it to Tirado instead. Kind of a mistake. Or maybe it wasn't, but here's the poach. Clutch play there from Andre, and she'll take it down. Now, Morton's got the ball back. Here's Albazar. Pass it off, but it's a knock-on. That was a series of unfortunate events there for Morton. But the Valkyries will get the ball back. And they'll get the scrum. Slowly forming the scrum. As the time is still on, it's just running clock. Crouch, bind, and it looks like the scrum will get called up yet again. There's quite a few scrums called up, but it looks like trying to get the safety side of everything.
Yeah, it's our favorite time of game when there's nothing happening except the ref talking, and there's really nothing to say. I love it.
It's always the best.
Ball's fed in.
And they'll pull it out. Here's Enriquez. She'll take it in herself. Gets taken down. Good placement. Morton throwing some aggressive counter rucks. Sandoval will pass it off. Some more series of offloads back to Sandoval. The ball just ended up right back in her hands. And Enriquez kind of gets knocked over. But here's kind of a drift run. Using the drift to the fullest extent. A good run there from Cruz before finally being brought down. Enriquez again. Here's the pass out. Number 22 takes it in. Breaking the 50-meter line. Here's Cruz. Pass out to Silvas. And she'll break through a line. Break through a couple tackles. Here's the offload. They get to Tirado. And a nice steal from Lopez. The ball's back in Morton hands. As the time's slowly ticking. Here's the ball's back out. A nice fake pass there. From Mendez. A good run from Cruz. Ball's back out. Here's Sanchez again. The forward crash. Albazar gets it to the kick. Here's the chip. Haven't seen this much. Ball bats out of Johnson's hands. Picked up by number 20. But it'll be Valkyrie's ball again. Inside their own half Passes back out. Here's Gutierrez. Runs through some tight traffic. Morton trying to hold her up. We're finally going down. Fighting for the ball. And the sir will call looks like a knock on for Morton. Or a scrum for Morton. Ball was unplayable. And there'll be a scrum to Morton. Now this is when things get interesting. Here's the quick tap. And the whistle, and the ref will put it back up. And here's the 8-man pick. A good run from Aldana. And it's stolen. Number 21. And the ball's back out. Valkyrie's ball yet again. An aggressive counter-rucking will ensue. But it will be stolen back yet again. Picked off. Ball's gone back out. Now it's just back and forth now, it looks like. Aggressive tackle from Tirado. Looks like kind of a standstill. And the sir called timeoff. It's like 2 down for Morton. Looks like Morton's been really taking a beating this game. Both teams have had a decent amount of injuries. Both teams trying really hard though. And Sir calls time back on. And there'll be a scrum to the Valkyries on the 40-meter line. With 4 minutes left in the match. Actually, the time was off. So it's drawing close to the end of the game. And here's the ball out. Enriquez gets it to Silvas. He goes spinning around. Almost loses the ball. Will pick it back up. Still breaking tackles. And that is the match. Your state champions, the Chicago Rugby Club Valkyries, will win it in state. A good, hard-fought match from the runners-up, Morton Mustangs. A really good match. They put up a good fight, both teams did. And it was really, really good match to watch. It was a really good match to watch. Starting out kind of slow, but ended up doing really, really good job. But until the next match, which will be between the CRC Berserkers and the Arlington Stallions, I'm Elijah Hall, and Malachi is getting the rosters for the other teams. Until the next game, thank you for watching, and God bless.
Is Nadia right?
Yeah. Do I have to do I put it on?
No, you're on. Nadia Perez, second place finish here for Morton, and very well played today. CRC, obviously a great team. You guys were very physical at the point of attack. You were quick on defense. And what was just something that you prepared this week for CRC?
I think overall it was just a don't give up battle. So after every tackle, like get back at it. After every run, get back at it. Keep our heads up, and I think we did pretty good. Doing that throughout the whole game.
It seemed like you guys never gave up, and you kept playing the whole time. What did your coaches tell you at halftime?
Well, they gave us advice on what we could improve on. Coming up harder on defense, and then on offense, like running more plays. Just encouraging us both with plays and mentally as well.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Here today with, your name? Emily. Congratulations today on your first place finish, and you had a great game today. You were running through the line, and you were making things happen. How did you prepare for this game throughout the week?
So definitely coming to this game, we knew we had a big opponent. Morton has always been our biggest competition. They're great at defense. They're great at offense. Over the years, they actually have been getting better, and it's been adding pressure to us. So coming in, we knew we had to come in hard. We knew we had to come in as we wanted it more. We definitely struggled the first half, but after the second half, we knew that we wanted it more, and we wanted to determine to everybody that we wanted it more. So we played our heart out. We made sure we were coming up on defense, making sure we were getting to the rooks and always fighting and making sure we were 110% at all time.
What was your mindset going into today?
Coming in, I just wanted to win. It's my senior year. I've been playing rugby since I was a freshman, so it meant a lot to me. And, yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations on the first place
Thank
finish.
you.